Hello, my name is Gerardo Broussi. I work at BrainSpark Consulting, which is a project and product management consultancy. So the number one benefits of operations and process improvement consultant is to provide companies with improved efficiency and profitability. Amongst those things, including identifying bottlenecks, repetitions, and delays, basically to debug the process, to create and to give insights into the process itself. So to figure out really what are you doing in your organization, to help brainstorm ideas to improve the process and bringing different people together to contribute to that. So some of my expertise, specific with process mapping and improvement, it comes from a combination of factors. Coming from an engineering background, the process in engineering are usually very precise and very detailed. It may not be very user friendly, but there's certainly, having that background of the engineering thinking allows me to ask questions and to go into depth that other people may not know how to approach. Fortunately, I also have experience in business and projects, so I understand the human side of it and understand that having a beautiful process map or this beautiful documentation doesn't help if people don't get buy-in. Some of the more common process mapping challenges that clients have to do with pretty simply poor project scoping. So what exactly do you want to map, the beginnings and the ends of a process? What level of complexity you want to add to the process? In other words, how much detail you need to have describing each step along the way. Inconsistencies in how you map the process or how you describe certain things. Also, process change over time, so lack of maintenance. You may have a process that's been there for a long time, but since then, people might now be doing things differently, and you need to document that. So you need to continuously document those changes. Some of the key core skills required to do process mapping and improvement projects are to have ability to do research, attention to detail. Again, you want to be able to make sure that you match the level of complexity to the requirements of what you're trying to map. You need to have some level of tenacity and determination, because it's a complicated problem to do, and mapping, you need to go through lots of hoops to make sure people give you the right information and that you present the information in the right way to those people too. I think it's also an ability to align different stakeholders, because different people have the different views of how things work and how things ought to work, and you need to be able to kind of line up all the people, or everybody's different views of the process, because that's what you want to get at, is a single view of the process that everybody can understand and contribute. So some of the common misconceptions or mistakes clients have about process mapping are things like the idea that there's only one right way of doing it. There's lots of different ways of doing process mapping. There's lots of different tools and techniques, and you have to find the one that really matches your objective and the scope of what you're trying to do. The other misconception is that process mapping is the same as process improvement. Process mapping could be a requirement to improve the process, but it's two different things. I think it's important to, before you start the process, to have a discussion with the process improvement consultant, what that is going to look like. You kind of want to start with the end in sight. So have this initial discussion with the consultant, define what that looks like. Once you have the process reviewed and you think it's good to go, a good way to start is comparing the as is the project as it is today when you started, and the process that the review process, and really make sure that the areas where you think that change was needed have really changed, and that the change that you're proposing gets buy-in from the people who are going to be doing those activities. Some of the mistakes that companies make when bringing an operations process improvement consultant are amongst the areas of where are they located within the organization, and what sort of mandate or remit they're giving, and the support they get in order to get the job done. which mixes to the second term, which is the team around the process improvement consultant. You want it to be people who can really open doors and make connections, and you just establish a level of conversation so that the process consultant can really ask the right questions, be in the right conversations, and bring the right people together to get them to contribute and also to buy in into the process that they themselves will be designing in more ways than one.